computer. Can you guys see that I'm recording?
Yeah.
Good. All right, and so we have people waiting, so I'm gonna go ahead and let them in.
Wait a second, mine does not show that you're recording.
It's a little button to the left side.
Oh, got it.
So got a few minutes, so we're gonna wait for some other people to join us. All right, everyone, welcome. Thank you for joining us today for our Connect to a Cause participant session. So as you guys, we're still letting some people in. If you guys can remain on mute, we're going to open up the chat for any questions that you may have throughout the session. And then towards the end, we will allow you to unmute yourself and ask some questions if you like. And so we got a few more people filing in. Okay. And just so you all know, we are recording today's session. So for those organizations that were not able to send someone today, we will be sending this out later on today or early tomorrow morning. All Let me clear that. One more. Okay. All right, so welcome. My name is Brittany Lovett, and I go by Britt. If I haven't personally met you, how you do? I am the Marketing Communications Officer here at the Community Foundation of Lorain County, and I have been in contact with the majority of your organizations about Connect to a Cause. And so just to give you a little bit of a brief history about Connect to a Cause, as we were doing our strategic planning, we really wanted to come up with ways on how we could strengthen our nonprofits in Lorain County. And so this whole concept of Connect to a Cause came about to try to build endowments for organizations. So agencies that currently have endowments and those who were willing to start new endowments for their agencies. And as you all know, endowment is a way that we save money for a rainy day, but it just so happens that it is a rainy day. And so we have decided to make Connect to a Cause a pass-through. So all of the money that is raised for your organization on September 17th will go directly to your organization. And Jim, our CFO, he'll talk about that a little later. And so what I want to focus on with you is how do we really leverage the day and how do we do some things with social media to really tell our story. And so I am going to go over to this. So we have 56 organizations that are participating in Connect to a Cause. We initially had a target of 40, but we have 56. And so with that, each of you have your own unique story that you can tell donors in our community. And that's what we really want to focus on that day. And so if you have liked and followed all of our social media platforms, whether it's Facebook or Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, or LinkedIn, you should have seen us starting to tell some of your stories with some of the information that you gave us. And then we're also retweeting and sharing the things that you all are highlighting on your social media as well. So if you can remember to continue to make sure that you tag us in things, because that is the only way that I can actually see it, to retweet or reshare so that we can continue to tell those stories. And as I've had conversations with a few of the organizations, one thing that has really kind of risen to the top is to make sure that our board members, because all of us have board members, are really advocating for our organizations. And so I know a few of the organizations, they're going to come out with short videos from their board that they're going to post, and they're really encouraging their boards to share on all their social media platforms as well. And so the more people who love your organization, if there are clients that you have served who are willing to tell the story, the more people that you can tell your story to and can tell it for you, you definitely would get more return. And so I am going to also talk to you about the FAQs. And so in the initial toolkit that all of you were sent, and if for whatever reason you have not seen a toolkit, please send me an email immediately and I'll make sure that you get it. In those toolkits, we had a list of frequently asked questions. And so as you all have been giving us feedback, we have just kept adding to the list. And so what we actually did is on our website at peoplewhocare/C2C, we actually put the frequently asked questions on that webpage. And so we have some for donors. So as they are hearing about Connect to a Cause and they want to know how do they prepare for September 17th, there is a list of questions on there for them. And then if you continue to scroll down, there's also a list of questions for our organizations. And so after today, I'm hoping all your questions are asked, but as questions do continue to arise, we will be updating them here on the website. And you'll be able to look down at the bottom and see when it is updated. Awesome. And then we're going to go back to this PowerPoint. All right. And so next, what I want to cover is the day of. So September 17th is only 14 days away. We are 2 weeks out. And so we came up with a schedule really of what we are going to be doing at the foundation. And then we have certain places that we want to make sure that we highlight each of the 56 organizations. And so where the 3 arrows are between 8 and 10, 10 and 12 and 2 and 4, we're going to have 10-minute slots that we're going to allow the organizations to sign up for so that we can do a Zoom, and we're going to live broadcast on Facebook and YouTube so people can tune in. And this is like your 10-minute elevator pitch about your organization, and it doesn't have to be the whole 10 minutes, and it doesn't necessarily have to be you. If you have someone else a board member that wants to speak, a different staff member who wants to speak, whomever you want to tell something about your organization, will be able to do it during those 10 minutes. And so after today's meeting, once we have the recording all complete, we're going to send out a doodle poll, and you will be able to put your organization's name and the name of the individual who will be logging into the Zoom. And so we will have that calendar for you. And so pick whichever time. And if you have any issues or anything with that, you'll be able to email me directly. And so now I am going to turn it over to Jim Stobie, who is our CFO, and he is going to talk about ways to donate and those distribution dollars that we keep hearing about. So Jim, over to you.
All right, thanks, Britt, and good morning, everyone. My name is Sylvia. I've been with the foundation for a little over a year now. We're really looking forward to September 17th, and want to try and get all of your questions answered out today. So I'll be kind of the money guy and the logistics guy in going over kind of how things work. So first thing I want to touch on is a little bit on the ways people can donate. Next, we'll get into a little bit about how the funds will be collected, tallied, and then distributed. And then lastly, we'll talk a little bit about the bonus dollars and so forth. So we know that a majority of people will hear about this day and will hopefully be active on September 17th from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. But we also know the reality of life, that people have vacations and commitments that might take them away from that day from being involved. So we wanted to make sure that we had an opportunity to try to collect some money from those folks in advance that day in the form of check donations. So Britt, I don't know if you want to cue up the next slide with the check form. So basically what we're going to be doing is we have this form on our website, which you can download and print off. And if there are people that are within your organization or donors or folks you're affiliated with that want to write a check or may not feel comfortable about doing a credit card donation, and there's some fee stuff associated with that, which I'll get into in a minute. Basically, all we would ask is that if they could print out this form and write a check and then get it to the Community Foundation by the 17th, we'll be able to add that in the total. The reason why we created this form is we just really want to make sure that we allow folks to make sure that they allocate their funds properly. We don't want to have a mistake of depositing someone's donation into the wrong account, since we have over 50 organizations participating. And as you can see on the form, you can allocate your donation into different groups, and there's just a $5 minimum. So we didn't want to discourage folks who might not have the means to make a big donation but did want to participate. So we will be collecting checks up and through the 17th, and we understand people may be mailing things kind of near the deadline. Just so you know, for when we get into the match conversation in a minute, we really want to make sure that any checks that we received are postmarked before September 17th. So we only have a couple of days to kind of tally that. We'd still obviously give the money to your organization if it came in later, but the initial calculation of the match and the prize totals, we need to kind of wrap that up. So the form's fairly straightforward. And we expect that we will get a fair amount of people who want to contribute by check. But the other way that we expect folks will do is through our website. At 8 a.m. we will be turning on the functionality for people to go online and select some funds. And Missy from our group is going to kind of walk through how that process works a little bit. It's really easy and exciting. Folks can make an online donation, and if they're one of the people who maybe is technology averse or concerned about security, the other thing that they can do is they can call in to our organization. We'll have 3 or 4 staff members dedicated to taking phone calls that day, and we can process a credit card transaction securely over the phone. So as you share that with people, we know that not everyone is tech savvy, but as Missy will walk through later, it is really a pretty straightforward and easy process. The one thing I did want to touch about on the credit cards though is when, and you'll see this when Missy does her demonstration, but you know, the foundation, like many other organizations, there's a credit card processing fee that goes along with a transaction. So essentially the donor will have the choice whether to pick that fee up or not. And you know, we're hoping that donors absorb those most of those fees, but if not, the fees will end up being deducted from the total that we do with the match. So I'll kind of get into that in a minute. So you know that that number is a flat 3% regardless of credit card and so forth, but that's how we're kind of working that. So how is the distributions of funds and dollars going to work? Essentially, basically what we're going to do is we're going to allow the day to kind of play out. We'll collect all the donations. And at the end of the day, we're going to kind of announce a preliminary total that we've raised, understanding that we'll have some checks kind of in transit and some things kind of following up. But throughout the day through the website, as Missy will show you later, you'll be able to get some visibility into how much organization has raised during the day. And we'll announce kind of globally, kind of at the end of the day, hey, congratulations, we raised this much collectively across our 56 organizations. Then the accountants in our group here, including myself, will go through and look at all the transactions, look at all the credit card fees, and kind of come up with determining how our match calculation is going to work. So essentially what we're doing is we're going to take your organization's total dollars raised as a percentage of the total dollars raised for the day, and that percentage is going to be applied in we have a $20,000 matching pool. So say your organization raises 5% of the total for the day, then you get 5% of the $20,000. But just keep in mind that then that number, the match would be reduced by whatever credit card fees donors did absorb during those transactions. So then the really exciting and competitive part of this, and I know we have some competitive folks on the phone who probably have already been sharing this news, is that we are going to kind of give out 2 bonus dollar prizes that day. The first is $10,000 to the organization who raises the most money during the 12-hour period. And the second is $10,000 contribution to the organization with the highest number of individual donors during that time. And that doesn't mean that Jim Stovey can log on 27 times and give $5 each and count as 27. It's Jim Stovey as a donor, and you know, Britt Lovett is a donor as well. So we'll count the number of unique donors and kind of getting that second total. So if you happen to be one of those 2 lucky organizations that win either of those 2 bonus dollars, because those amounts are so significant and would exceed what our match total would be, you would not also then participate in the match. It would be in lieu of the match, but that would be a significant dollar amount. So we really are excited about the competitive nature of this, and hopefully as you share this out, you can get your donors excited about that as well. So from a timing standpoint, as I mentioned, we'll announce the winners, or we'll announce kind of the broad total. Our goal then is over the next 7 days, so approximately the 24th, we would then be able to go get back to all of your participating organizations to say, this is what you earned in your match. And, or if you were one of the winning organizations, this is which award did you win? And then the thought is 2 weeks from that time period, we would be cutting the check for the net match less the credit card fees that were incurred. So that should take us to right around October 1st. And that just, we're being conservative with that. We might be able to get it out quicker, but we want to make sure we have everything accounted for, and we don't want to have to be doing multiple checks and so forth. So that's pretty much the gist of my stuff. From the last presentation, I know one of the questions we got was, are there strings attached, or does the money have to be used a certain way? We are really the pass-through in this. So when whatever organization, whatever donors give to your organization, we're going to quantify that dollars and give it back to you, and then it's going to be up to you on how to spend those dollars. So, Britt, did I leave anything out that you can think of? Oh, you're on mute. There you are.
No, I think you covered everything, and we don't have any questions thus far. So thank you, Jim. So now we are going to have Missy run through how people are going to donate through our grants catalog. So Missy is our data management fellow, and she has been with us almost a year, I believe, Missy. Coming up
Like 6 months.
6 months. It feels like
That's it.
in COVID days, right? But Missy has
Yeah, it does.
awesome things for our organization, and she got all the information that you all sent about your missions and your logos, and she has built us a grants catalog. So Missy, over to you.
So I'm going to show everybody how your donors can donate to your organization for Connect for a Cause, and I'm also going to go over what's called the grants catalog. So to start with, on the day of the event, September 17th, you're going to want to direct all of your donors to peoplewhocare.org. This is the main website for the Community Foundation. And then you'll just scroll down here to this nice big blue button right here in the center that says donate. And you can just click on that. And this is going to take you into what we're calling our grants catalog, which is essentially a list of all of the participating organizations. One thing I want to clarify for our demonstration today is that we are using our test site. So this is not real. And you'll notice that some of the organizations listed here have some money funded. Those are just test transactions that we've been doing just to make sure that everything is working and syncing properly. So on the day of the event at 8 a.m., these will all be 0. So just FYI, no one's getting a head start. But these are all listed in alphabetical order. Please take a moment to go into the site and look at your listing and make sure everything is correct. This information here, I primarily used mission statements for your organizations that you provided. In some instances, they were too long and I had to edit them down a little bit. This space right here is only 256 characters. So if there's something you would like changed or something else highlighted, please just reach out to me. I'll be happy to make that change for you. Likewise, some of the logos, especially those of you with horizontal logos, Cleveland Hearing and Speech is a good example. Normally their text is right next to their logo, but when you did that, it made this so small that you couldn't read it. So I had to take some liberties and adjust some logos just to make them visual for the donor. So again, if I've gone ahead and made a change that doesn't follow your branding guidelines, please reach out to me and we'll be happy to work together to make it work for your organization. Then right here is a link. This will take you to your website. If your organization does not have a website, I've linked it to your Facebook page. So you will want to go to your homepage or your Facebook page and make sure information listed there is current and accurate. Some people that are here for Connect for a Cause maybe have never heard of your organization before. And this is a chance to get some information in front of them. So you want to make sure you make the best impression possible. So do some due diligence and make sure your own websites are current and up to date. You may also want to put a link on your website directing them to the Community Foundation website. People might go to your page to donate to Connect to a Cause versus the foundation, and that way you can get them to the right space and you don't lose out on those dollars. So for now, we're going to go in and actually walk through how a donation works online. We're just going to use 100 women since it's the first one listed here, and you're just going to click this blue box for donate. And you can put any amount in starting at $5. So we're just going to use $25 for today. You can make a donation in honor or in memory of someone if you wish. You just click add to cart. And then you can go back and add another organization into your donation if you would like. There's no limit to the number of donations that you can do in one transaction. And there's also no limit to the dollar amount you can give as well. And then we're going to go ahead and check out. It'll give you a summary of the organizations you've selected. And then down here, if one of your donors wishes to remain anonymous, it's very important that they check this box. If they check this box, then their name and donation will not be shared with the organization. If they do, or if they don't check it, then we will provide you with their name and address so that you can send follow-up letters. So here your information in. Oops. Pretty self-explanatory. And then here you would list however you want your donation to be completed. And then as Jim mentioned, this right here, this is the box you would check as a donor if you wish to provide and cover the 3% processing fees. So in this case, we're going to say yes, and then just click review. You can just scroll down. Again, here's your summary, and then you just click pay with credit card.
And as Missy is entering in the credit card information, if you have a donor that calls your organization, instead of calling us to do the credit card payment, you can just log right on and click and just go ahead and put in their information. And so once they put in everything, not only will they get a thank you on here, but they will get a thank you email sent to them with all of the receipts and information in it.
And just click that. And you'll end up getting a confirmation screen that pops up. And then to show you how you can kind of track your donors throughout the day, we're going to go back into that grants catalog, going in the same way we did before. Just go into that donate button. And if you notice, if we scroll down here to our top 2 organizations that we gave to, these said 25 before, and we made 2 $25 donations, and they both now say 50. So this amount right here is real time for your credit card donations that are online. This amount will not include checks or cash that's mailed or delivered here to the office, but this will give you a ballpark as to how much money you're raising that day, just to give you a kind of an idea. So again, just to recap, if you see any edits that you need to your listing, please take a moment and go in and look at that and make sure it's accurate. You can reach out to me. My email address is mtimko@peoplewhocare.org. Again, happy to work with you to make this fit. One thing that you might want to consider doing is some organizations are putting in this area how the money will be used. Donors really like knowing how their money is going to be spent and what it's going to be purchasing. So if you plan on purchasing a piece of equipment or using it to fund a certain portion of your program, you may want to consider listing that here in this area versus your mission statement. And again, if you want that changed, just reach out to me. Britt, is there anything I missed?
I was going to give the example. Will you scroll down to Main Street, Wellington? I didn't see Jenny in here, but I know Jenny and her board, they had a really great idea. Anyone who donates over a certain amount, they will be eligible to receive a membership for 2021. And so we were able to put that right there in the grants catalog. And so she will get that information once we have calculated everything and send the information out, and those individuals will have memberships. So if there's anything special that you could do that we can put in here for you, please let us know. And hopefully we can get all those edits by Friday, so that way by maybe Tuesday or Wednesday of next week, we can have the catalog up and ready as donors are coming to the page and starting to view the organizations.
And also, if you happen to have a vertical version of your logo versus a horizontal version, it works much better in the computer system and is much more legible to read. So if you happen to have one of those and would like your logo switched out, please feel free to email me as well.
Awesome. Thank you, Missy. All right, so now we're going to open it up for questions. If you want to unmute yourself, I don't think anyone typed into the chat. Please feel free. Let us know if we've missed anything, or is this something pressing that you've just been wondering? Now is your opportunity.
Hi, this is Teresa.
Hi.
Two questions. If somebody wants to donate by check, is that one of those forms per each person? Because you have 10 lines on there for donating checks. And is this site open now that people could look at it and just see what it looks like now?
So yes, so there is it's one form per person. So if that individual wanted to donate to multiple organizations, they would be able to write that on there. And then, yes, so Missy did show the test site, but our actual grant catalog will be up and live on there. You just will not be able to donate. So if someone went on there and they're searching through and they click donate, they'll get like an error message because they're not able to. But yes, you can go view right now.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
There's a couple in the chat, Britt.
Okay. Let's see.
I have a question.
Yeah.
That form for the check, people sending in a check or cash, that is printable and downloadable from your site?
It is. Let me show you exactly where it is right
When will that be available to be downloaded and printed?
And so if you go to our site, let me just show you from the homepage. You go to our homepage site. And so Missy showed you where the donate was. This button over here is the learn more. So it actually goes to people who care /C2C. And if you scroll right here, the check form is right here. And so you can click on it, you would be able to download it. If for whatever reason you guys can't print it, we have some at the office, just let us know and we can make sure that you get them forms.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Check it.
Britt, we have a question from Julie with the Girl Scouts. She asks, can you tag the organizations on LinkedIn when you do the posts?
You know, if you are following that page, you can, but LinkedIn's just a little weird because unlike maybe a Facebook and a Twitter, you are doing it from your personal page for your organization's page. So if you make sure that we like or follow, yes, we can try to make sure that we tag you and make sure that you guys, if you're posting something, try to tag us as well.
This is Teresa again. When you say go to our site, do we go to peoplewhocare.org or do we go to Community Foundation?
For
anything, for what?
So to donate, so you go to our website, peoplewhocare.org. But as far as social media, so for your organization, if you're making a post on Facebook, you can tag the Community Foundation in it. So that way I can see it and I can share it on all of our platforms.
And so the check form is from the Community Foundation site?
Yes, which is peoplewhocare.org. Mm-hmm.
Okay, thanks.
Mm-hmm. Any more questions?
Let's see, we do have a couple more things in the chat.
Okay.
How soon can we start sharing the links?
You can share them today. So after we get off, Missy is going to swap out that test site and she's going to make it to our grant catalog. A lot of you have already been posting on social media. The majority of the posts that we have been doing, we have been directing everyone to the website. And so that way people can scroll through and they can see all 56 participants. Like we said, whatever it says in that little blurb, right now it's your missions and it's a link to your website or your Facebook page. So that is what people are seeing now. So you can start sharing as soon as you get off the call.
Another question is, just to be 100% clear, any donations will go directly to our orgs and not necessarily to your existing endowment funds.
Correct. Unless you specifically have spoken with us, it will go directly to you.
And can you go over how to sign up for the live Zoom broadcast on September 17th?
So either this afternoon or tomorrow morning, we are going to send out what is called a doodle poll. And so it will be a link in an email that will also have this broadcast. and you will click on it, and there will be 10-minute slots during those 3 different hour periods. And you will just put the name of your organization. And if you don't know who is going to be joining the Zoom at that time, that's okay. But if you do, if you could put that in there. And so what will happen, you'll sign up for that block, and then we will send something out beforehand once we get everyone signed up. And so it will be this login information to my Zoom, but I'll make sure you get it again. And what will happen is you'll just log in, and you'll be able to kind of just take the 10 minutes to speak about your organization.
Okay, I think that's everything we have in the chat. I don't know if there's any other questions anybody would like to call out.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Thank you for the presentation. So when people are giving to our organization now, it has to say connect with a cause in order for us to get credit?
So
Like,
if someone's writing a check, you mean like if they're writing a check right now?
Yeah.
Yes, so that form, if somebody has already sent something, you know that it's for Connect to a Cause, just either shoot us an email or give us a call, and we'll make sure that we're looking out for it.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
That's one of the reasons why we put that separate check in, because obviously we get donations in the endowment every day. So we want to delineate the two.
One more from me. This live Zoom on the 17th, who all is going to be on this Zoom? I mean, if we're talking about our organization, how can people be watching it and hearing all this?
So it's going to live stream on our YouTube page, and then it's also going to be a Facebook Live. So anyone, you know, we've been putting out advertisements since, I want to say, January, trying to build up our base on Facebook and our other social media platforms. So anyone who follows us on Facebook will be able to see, I believe you'll be able to share to your page as well. And then on YouTube, anyone who follows our YouTube channels, we'll have those links on our social medias and on our website for people to click and watch as well.
That's great.
Any other questions? All right. Well, Cindy, do you want to get ready to close this out?
Absolutely. Britt, thank you so much. And just thank you all for joining us. Special thanks to Britt, Jim, and Missy. You can imagine from a community foundation standpoint, we feel so blessed to be part of such a caring community. And yet we thought, in celebration of our 40th anniversary, how do we best support all of our nonprofits, and in particular, those 56 that raised their hand and said, we'd like to be a part of this. And I need to share with you, there is a buzz in the community as we are out and about. Folks are talking about, tell me more about Connect to a Cause. So we're excited that you were willing to join us this morning. As Britt suggested, this presentation or this recording will be posted, but we continue to appreciate your feedback. What's working for you? What do you have a question about? Because as you have a question, someone else might have a question as well. So please keep us posted. Our office is staffed Monday through Thursday, and so happy to take those checks. If someone wants to walk them in or mail them in, they can be acknowledged. And again, most importantly, just thank you for joining us on this journey. It's a fabulous opportunity for us to support so many organizations doing such good work in the community. So thank you. And Britt, back to you if there are any last questions.
I think I forgot to mention our really cool mugs that we have. So we made the mug at your organization, or plan on some giveaways that day to people who are commenting on things or donating or just anything. So there's more surprises and things to come. I'm really excited. There's 14 days away. I'm happy it's 14 days away, but we got a lot of work to do for 14 days. And so please continue to tell your stories and share and like stuff on social media. And I think we're gonna have a great day. So thank you all. Please email me, let me know if you have questions or need anything, and we'll go from there. So
Thanks, everyone.
Safe Labor Day.
Be safe.
Thank you, Cindy. Thank you, Britt. Thank you, everybody,
care.
for all your hard work.
Well, thank you.
Be well. Joyce, wow. Teresa, Bill. How cool, Britt. So how many folks this time?
32.
Awesome. So 32 and 23.